Hola, minasan. Uh, welcome back. Welcome back. I do want to apologize. Uh, I seem to have a good, strong connection now. The Wi-Fi apparently had to be reset. It really screwed me up because this is not my Wi-Fi, and I'm not on wired either. This is not my Wi-Fi. This is someone else's Wi-Fi, and I got royally screwed a few minutes ago. Thankfully, I was able to get all of this back up. Uh, okay. I want to do this proper, so just checking the strength, the output, and everything. Then I'm gonna fade to black for a couple of quick seconds, and then start over again. Shoot, I can bring this up. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Alright, it's holding up. It's holding up. It's still in excellent condition. Okay. Alright, so I apologize again for those of you who tuned in. I hope y'all come back. Those of you who are watching. Any of you who are watching. So, because I had been getting some playbacks. Alright, so let's get started, and I'll see you in a second. Hola, minasan! Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is Henry Michael Brown here with another update. Got ourselves an update for Nagisa Hino in Savage Strikers. I hope those of you who watched the presentation enjoyed it, and looking forward to seeing the next 12 live streams of all these fighters getting updated. So I figured the best way to open up to begin is introduce you to all the fighters for draft 112 in Savage Strikers, and I'm hoping that y'all enjoy these update videos and see how all this works out. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, so let's do the rundown. So the first fighter up here on the top left is Killian from the United Kingdom. He is the boss of the game. If this were a video game, he'll be the last fighter you take on, and you get your ending. Now, I kind of was inspired by Akuma. From what I've seen of his stats at shoryuken.com, he is the lowest, the fighter with the least vitality, but he delivers a lot of heavy damage in one go. So his vitality is at 70, his stun defense is at 21, and his hand size is 7, although I might change his stun defense. But his attacks are pretty devastating, so to speak, as a boss should be. Next up is Chenbozhang from China. His vitality is 80, stun defense 22, hand size 7. He is one of the first 3 fighters that I was working on. He was one of the first 3 fighters that I was working on during the deck building days, and he serves as the one of the extreme ends of the damage formula. Here we go. Let me show you what I mean. Here we go. So I had this formula, as you can see here. Let me enlarge that. And this formula was from the during the deck building days, and as you can see here, I got these calculations, which led to the total, and the total was used to basically serve as the extreme ends. So 6 and 14 for Brock were the extreme ends, and so any future fighters, they would have to be within this range, and this was how much damage they would do as per the formulation and such. And all of these were the total from as a result of the light, medium, heavy, and so on. And Nagisa, who we're going to be updating, is the baseline fighter. She's basically sitting in the middle. I'll go through further details with that. So between Chenbo and Brock, with Nagisa, they served as the first 3 fighters to help deal with the game's balance and making sure that when new fighters were added in, they would be within Brock and Chenbo's range, extreme range, and ensure that they'll be as balanced as possible. Let's see how we're doing here. We're doing good. We're doing good so far. So that's the formula from the old deck building games. So what happened is that because this evolved out of the deck building games, the formulation became obsolete. As you probably have noticed, Chenbo's vitality was 45. Now it's 70. Because the formula was designed to deal with Savage Strikers as a deck building game. But now that the deck building is gone, so too is the formula. It's just no good. It's not good anymore. So, but that doesn't mean that Chenbo being on one extreme end and Brock being on the extreme end, Nagisa being the baseline, is gone forever. That's not going to be the case. They still help keep some of the fighters within range, but Killian is the first attempt to do it outside of the range to see if it's possible. If not, then I'll have to put him back in range between Chenbo and Brock. The next fighter is Kalista from Greece. She's got vitality 80, also got the stun defense 22 and a hand size of 7. She's also one of the 4 bosses. Similar to like how Street Fighter 2 had the 4 bosses, you had to go through Boxer, Claw, then Sagat, and Dictator. Here, the 4 bosses of Savage Strikers is Killian, Kalista, Brock, and Diego. You'll see soon enough. So she's basically story-wise the personal bodyguard of Killian. Think Mercy being the bodyguard of Lex Luthor, that kind of thing. So she's kind of like her style. Oh yeah, I skipped Chenbo. Chenbo's style is like he's combo heavy. He likes to dish out lots and lots of combos in one go. Kalista, despite having the same stats as him, she's more. I'm looking at maybe more like Tessay from Waku Waku 7. There's a few fighters where they throw like objects and such, and they do traps, layout traps. What's her name? What's her name from Skullgirls? Peacock. Peacock got those. Got the little walking, the little walking bomb, or she throws the moa down from above, or a steamroller. That's what I'm looking for Kalista to be more like, that kind of fighter. So. Yep. Next up is Takashi Murakami. He was created last year. He's one of the more newest fighters, one of the 3 newest fighters, and he's from Japan. His vitality is 85, stun defense 22, hand size 7, and he's more along the line of a dance fighter. I'm not sure if I want to do capoeira, but his character arc is kind of like he's a dancer and he does dance fighting and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at like him doing a lot of reversals, so to speak, and countering, to match his dance moves, so to speak. Next up is Alejandro Gonzalez from Puerto Rico. His vitality is 85, stun defense 23, hand size 6. He's straightforward Shoto. He's kind of like a straightforward forward Shoto. He could do the Hadoken, the Shoryuken. That's what I'm looking for him to do. I'm using Robert Garcia from Art of Fighting to convey. So yes, he also has that multiple kick. I don't know if that's gonna be how he is as a final fighter, his final design, but that's what I'm looking for him to be. Just a basic, straightforward Shoto fighter. Finally, now we come to the most important character in all of Savage Strikers, Nagisa Hino. I'll go into more further details about her design. She's from Japan. She's got 90 vitality, 23 stun defense, 6. Her hand size is 6. She is basically the face of Savage Strikers. I intend for her to be the face. She is the Ryu. She's the baseline in terms of statistics. All the fighters grew out from her. There's a lot more to it, but like I said, I'll go into more detail as I start designing, so you'll understand how. But she is most definitely the baseline, and she serves as the starting fighter for newcomers. If you want to learn how to play this game, she's the one to go to learn it. Okay. Next up is Irina Kovalenko from Russia. She's a boxer. I designed her to be pure brutality. Her vitality is 90, stun defense 23, hand size 6. She is like, I would like to say Balrog, but not like Balrog. She's got her. I want her to have her own methods, but she could come in like real hard. But I gotta tone her down a bit because in the playtest at PAX, she really was devastating a lot of the playtesters with mass amounts of damage. She is definitely all about the combos, just similar to how Chenbo's is combo centric. She's also combo centric as well, but being a boxer, she's just like brutal, relentless type of fighter. Next up is Marcus Williams from the USA, and his design is something that is kind of all over the place, because I was thinking of making him like a 1-2 punch type of fighter. Like when you go into combos, you can still pull off combos, but like you could pull off 1-2 hits. He's like some kind of quick 1-2 hitter kind of thing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the game. His vitality is 95. His stun defense is 23. Hand size 6. But I'll figure him out. And next up is Angelo Parks. Let me fix that up here. Sorry. MS Word don't like me. Here we are. So, Angelo Parks also from USA. She is the pure grappler of Savage Strikers. She's all about the throws. She has more throws than attacks in terms of her deck build. Her vitality is 95, stun defense 24, hand size 5, and yeah, she's all about the grappling. In story wise, I intend for her to be the best friend of Nagisa. She's Nagisa's best friend. That American friend of yours. So they're both. So I intend for Angela and Nagisa to be best friends in terms of the story world. So if you want, if you're looking for that good grappling attack, Angela is your lady. If you want that nice wrestling stuff. Next up is Diego Salamanca. He's another boss. He's from Panama, and his vitality is 100, stun defense 24, hand size 5. I'm kind of more. He kind of even though I'm using Rugal for his proxy art to contextualize him, he's kind of like a combination of him and Urian, where you create that little shield that deflects projectiles and attacks and such. That's what I'm going with Diego as the boss. So he's got the projectile, he's got the little reflect, a few extra. I'm sure in the final design he'll have more unique and distinct moves that differentiate from them. But he definitely will do a lot of reflecting attacks kind of thing. Next up is Freddie G from Egypt. He is a heavy metal band leader. He's the heavy metal band leader. He's a heavyweight. He's kind of got a mixture of grapples and brawler type attacks. Yeah, he's not all grapple like Angela, but he could do something like a power bomb. But the bulk of like a power bomb or maybe a suplex. But the bulk of his real attacks are those devastating punches and kicks. His vitality is 100, stun defense 24, and his hand size is 5. And finally, the last boss, the fourth boss, is Brock Crusher from Canada. He is the heavyweight of heavyweights, so to speak. I'm still working on his story, but I'm still working on his storyline. But he's basically, he's definitely not gonna look like Abigail. I could tell you that much. He is not gonna look like Abigail in the least bit. But he doesn't have. He only has like 2 specialized throw moves. Everything else is just all brutal attacks, like punches, you name it. I'm using Hugo as his context, but what I'm looking for Brock Crusher is just to be like bang, and just like punch, and you just feel the effect of the punch. He's also going to be the only fighter in the game where he's all about card drawing. Like that's his bread and butter. He's all about that card drawing, for good reason. His attacks are very short. His combos are very, very short, but very, very devastating. He has the highest of all the damage out of everybody, even Killian. Like Killian cannot dish out the level of damage Brock can do. Brock's vitality is 110, his stun defense is 25, and his hand size is 5. So stunning him, taking him down, it's going to take a lot. He is a literal tank. So that's the 12 fighters in a nutshell. Good. It didn't take that long. Well, it took long. But yes, these are the 12 fighters that are going to be updated for the next 12 shows. And we're going to start with the most important character, and that's Nagisa Hino. So we're going to scroll all the way down. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. Hopefully this won't crash. There we go. Go all the way down. Here we go. Up. Hold it. Here we are. Okay. There we are. So, her proxy character for context is Leona. She's featured in King of Fighters. She's best known for, I believe, Ikari Warriors. She's one of the Ikari Warriors. So I'm using her as Nagisa's context and excuse me, her context for in proxy art. Just to let you all know that these proxy art are placeholders. The sole purpose is for contextualizing Savage Strikers as a fighting game, and it is not final artwork for this game. This is still prototype stages, and to be used to convey to publishers or you guys, the customers, that this is indeed a fighting game, and that this is how it would play as a fighting game. Okay, so Nagisa. Well, where to begin with? I'm gonna first update here. As you can see, this is the combo meter. This was the old combo meter, and this here is the combo interface as I introduced in the presentation. Sorry, that was a total brain fart on my part. Total brain fart there. So So this is a farewell to the combo meter. This has been a long time staple, going all the way back to draft 10, like the 10th draft. This was 102 drafts ago. Originally, this was used as an eye tracking mechanism for players doing their combos. Later, I mechanized it and turned it into a functional game mechanic, and now it has evolved into this user interface. Primarily because of the economy that I've included in the game to emulate EX attacks, your ultra combos that you would see in Street Fighter, key triggers, that kind of stuff. So it's time to bid adieu. I'm going to start off by updating this so that way it can be appropriate, like so. And I'll worry about the effect boxes second. So let's talk about Nagisa. Nagisa, for all intents and purposes, is the tutorial fighter, the Ryu, like I said. But her story, in terms of game design, is an interesting journey, because Nagisa was originally the starting deck of Savage Strikers, the deck building fighting game. When I first did the deck building fighting game, as is typical for all deck building games, you have a starting deck. Each player has a starting deck of 10 cards, and the starting deck of 10 cards is very generic. It's not designed for you to play the whole game. It's designed for you to purchase your cards, and then you start trashing them, removing them from the game, so you can have a more focused deck to be able to fight with. And when I started expanding the fighters, when I created Chenbo and Brock, I had they ended up having a very unique and distinct deck, and their own unique and distinct decks. And what ended up happening is that I had the starting deck, this starting deck in the deck builder, and I decided, and it had been refined a lot prior to the creation of Chenbo and Brock, and it ended up becoming more of a tutorial deck, so to speak. Like, it teaches you how to play Savage Strikers as a deck building game. And what ended up happening was that after I had created Brock and Chenbo, they had their own unique and distinct starting 10 card decks. That was their own. They had their own name on it and everything. And so what ended up happening was that I had the original starting deck that was generic in every way. It was very highly generic. That you would not begin to comprehend. And what I did was I made that Nagisa. Basically, that became Nagisa in a nutshell, and that's what makes her very unique as a character, because she started off as the original 10 card deck for Savage Strikers before there was any characters involved, and that became her deck, and she became basically the tutorial fighter. So you would have to learn. So if you wanted to learn Savage Strikers properly, you would play her before you played Brock and Chenbo. So that way you would get the idea of how the game worked, and then you would go to Chenbo and Brock. So since then, I used her as the baseline for all stats, basically, and this resulted in her becoming the face of the whole series, the whole entire game for Savage Strikers, and I never let it go since. And as you saw in the formula, she was in the center, and basically from her stats, I was able to branch out Chenbo and Brock. They were making them the extreme ends, and then I was able to work out all the other fighters in between the three of them, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome to pull off. And whew, word. Yeah, this is just Word acting up. It does this every time. Now that I put in the every time I put in the user interface, just in case. But yeah, that's why that's Nagisa's backstory in terms of her game design, and so I never let go of that since. And the objective here is to try and make her try to make sure she remains being the tutorial fighter, the Ryu of the game, so that way newcomers will have a fighter to learn Saber Strikers with, because all of the other fighters, including Chenbozhang and Brock, Chenbozhang and Brock would be more intermediate, but all the other fighters, they're definitely going to be expert level. They're going to assume that you know everything. So what this means is that Nagisa, for all intents and purposes, is going to have the effects all spelled out clearly. If you're noticing up here, there's text. Now, so normally some of them there's text, and the effect text will just be one single word. Think Magic the Gathering keywords, haste. You don't see haste spelled out, it just says haste, so it assumes that you know what haste is, and that's what I intend to go with in terms of the keywords. Most of the keywords. Some of them, like sweep, will have to be spelled out because they have payment costs, but a card like cancel, an effect like cancel is not going to spell out. It's not going to spell it all out, but it's not going to be spelled out. It's going to assume you know. But with Nagisa, it will be spelled out, so that way you know what to do. That's what I'm banking on. That if that makes sense. That's what you would see if you were playing the core set in Magic the Gathering. You'll say haste, and in parentheses it tells you what haste does, like that. Just like that. Okay. So far so good. Everything is pacing along good. I'm glad to see that everything is going good on the live stream. Everything is easy peasy. So Nagisa, what I'm hoping also, if I were to have it my way in terms of publication, I would have a special starter kit, and it'll just be 2 copies of Nagisa. It'll be a mirror match, Nagisa versus Nagisa. So both players will just pick up the deck. Say they pick up the starter kit, and through Nagisa, they'll learn how to play Saber Strikers, and if they want to play with the other fighters, they can. They could play the other fighters and branch out. And one of the benefits that I'm hoping for, is that I just had it in my mind. Sorry, I just had it in mind. Oh, right, but I'm hoping for, what I'm banking on, in that case, if I were to do it that way, is that even though you'll have 2 copies of Nagisa, if you pick up another fighter, then you expand on it. Say you still have a spare character or 2 to different character to spare if you want to play with another player, so to speak. If that makes sense. I'm not sure how the publication is gonna turn out in the end, quite honestly. Packs of 2, which I believe is standard fare. What am I doing? I got this already right here. Which would be standard fare. Then, like I said, if I was doing it my way, if I was doing the publication myself, I probably would have the ultimate package, where all 12 fighters would be made available, but then there would be maybe dual packs, individual packs, maybe thematic packs. I don't know. It might be overkill. It might not even be a smart idea business wise, but definitely the most common thing would be individual would be to purchase individual packs. So Nagisa would be her own pack, Brock would be his own pack, and you just get you got that whole deck. Think I'm sorry, excuse me. Think of Keyforge. Keyforge is, are all individual decks. They're all individual decks, and yeah, like that. And you just pop out the deck and you just play right out of the box. That's what I'm hoping for with this. You just pop it in and you play right out of the box. They're all ready for you. You don't have to go through anything. You don't have to collect cards or buy additional packs or anything. But also, dual packs like team. Like a team. I don't know. I'm getting way ahead of myself and everything in this instance here, but I would say that I'm overall excited for Savage Strikers, getting that nice little sweet spot. So, I just finished updating the move cards and the guard cards. It wasn't that much. She's very basic in terms of damage. Let's see. I just want to get a copy with the damage here for the unique cards. So, as you saw, her light attack, her medium attack, and her heavy attack, her damage is 369. So because I can't do the formula anymore, it was very, very, very hard and very, very annoying trying to figure out how to apply damage for the fighters, for each of the fighters. And what it is that when I looked at Shoryuken.com and went through all of the fighters' stats and their damage stats and everything, the Shoryuken.com has very, very comprehensive stats for all kinds of fighting games, not just Street Fighter. And what it is that I couldn't figure out what was the criteria for assigning the damage on those fighters. Like, was it a formula? Was it, XYZ? There was just nothing in Shoryuken.com to indicate that. Then I found, I think it was Super Street Fighter 2. No, Street Fighter 2, just regular Street Fighter 2, I think, and Shoryuken.com, that they showed the formula of the damage that would be assigned and act as the criteria, and it wasn't making much sense to me, especially, and I think it was more obsolete. So ultimately, I stopped looking for formulas and just looked for something that was common, that was pretty common between the fighters. And that was even harder. But from Blaze Blue to Street Fighter, what else? Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters. It was just hard to wrap my head around. And that's when I went to Street Fighter 5. Shoryuken.com had this whole layout for Street Fighter 5, and that's when I noticed many of the fighters. Pretty much all the fighters had one thing in common with their light, medium, and heavy punch, and that was the number 3, 6, and 9. And I guess they figured that would be their baseline. But to be fair, they also do damage scaling in Street Fighter 5. So 3, 6, 9 may have not been inconsequential. With that regard of picking those three numbers, but it was pretty. But Ryu had 369, and I noticed that other fighters also had 369, but they had like slight adjustments, like either +1 or -1 on the 369. So I decided to go with that for the sake of my brain, because it was just driving me nuts. Hopefully, when if I get this in the hands of publishers, or if I get, or if I go, well, when I get to the next steps, like the development part, somebody with good math skills with strong math skills will find a better formulation for distributing damage, and I'm all for it. But for now, the 369 has been working fine. It boiled down to the frame arrows and and the effects and so on. But the damages between the fighters have been very consistent. Like nobody was really running away. It was just a matter of understanding the game and such. So who knows? Maybe 369 will be the final structure, and then throws and specials, other types of like throws. I went above that. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like I said, it's very hard to figure out, but I figure throws would be a lot more stronger since it requires close range. So that had to be given. So now that I dealt with the normal subtypes, which you'll find, just so you all know, before I go any further, in terms of the decks themselves, what you're going to find, every single fighter is going to have these normal cards, and they're all normal, and they're the same. They're pretty much the same, so to speak. But as you can see, the normal subtypes, attack normal. Oops, hold it. I'm about to go. There we go. So no matter what, every single fighter is going to have light attack, medium attack, heavy attack, and it'll say attack normal. Their throws got different names, but they're all standard throws. The kind of standard throws you would find in fighting games. You know, when you press forward and you're on top of the fighter and they grab and then they just do a basic throw. You know, like reuse, overthrow. The throw normals. Every fighter's got 3 of these. 3 of them. Then everybody's got the same 3 normal blocks: block, parry, and sidestep. And their move normals. Everybody's got crouch, jump, and dash. What's going to make these set themselves apart, of course, is going to be the frame arrows. Some of them will have more frame arrows or less frame arrows, as well as effects. Some of them, not all of them, are going to have the same effects. They're not going to have the same effects. Not all of them. You know, so depending on fighters, their fighting styles. But no matter what, all of the normal subtypes are going to have the same names except for throw. Everybody's throws are going to have a different name. But in terms of the standard fare, you're going to see crouch, jump, dash, block, parry, sidestep, and light attack, medium attack, heavy attack. Every fighter's going to have those cards no matter what. But they're going to be different from one another depending on their fighting style. So now we come to the uniques. Those uniques are, how do I explain? Guile. You know how Guile does that, has that, they're kind of like your elbows, your knees, or Guile doing that weird kick where he, it's not his somersault kick, his famed somersault kick. It's like when he just flips his body upside down and then he just stretch out his kick. That weird looking one. That's what these uniques are. These are the unique attacks. These are the unique attacks, and they're also, of course, unique throws. Angela is a perfect example. She has unique throws. So some fighters will have unique throws, some of them won't. But these ones will have the more distinctive effects that you won't find among the normal types. The normal types. The normal types. So, like, for example, as you can see, I'm coming up to Heine. Well, you'll find poke a lot, but when I get to the right hook, this is one of the original features of Savage Strikers. That was a little mistake there. There we go. Perfect. So this here effect that you see here is called Set Breaker. This is unique to Savage Strikers. And when you play sets, you could actually get the initiative first. I reworded the effects. All these effects have been updated. They're I just gotta spot them up. I gotta spot them up. So don't. You'll see in a second when I start updating the effects. But Set Breaker allows you to gain initiative during sets instead of your opponent. If in the event of a tie. So if a tie happens, you can the Set Breaker will give you sets. Will let you win sets and gain the initiative. that type of effect. Whereas spin kick, her spin kick has hit stun. um, Again, I updated how this effect works. But yes, things like hit stun exist in this game. The type of terms that you'll find. If you go to let me just get the name here. Let me make sure I get the proper name. Infil.net, infil.net. Go right on over there, and you'll find all the terms that you'll find in fighting games between the actual game mechanisms themselves and fighting game community terms that the fighting game community has accumulated over the years. So one of those is poke. One of those fighting game community terms is poke, which would normally be just a little light jab, but I gave it a little bit more flavor where you get to draw one card on a poke. Whereas hit stun is kind of more of a game mechanism that you'll see, a game design mechanism where when you hit an opponent, when you hit your opponent, they stagger back briefly and leaving you with enough opening to be able to pull off your combos. That's usually what confirms try to look for is that hit stun. The longer the hit stun and the faster you recover, the quicker you could get into your combo or cancel out, which is basically a whole different beast to explain. But it basically just ends the animation. To put it simply, it ends your current fighter's animation and lets you jump into a different animation. That's yeah, that you'll have to go into the games itself to see what I'm talking about. You'll have to see those games and play. So now I'm up to the specials. That's right, the ones that you would expect in fighting games. Your Hadokens and your Shoryukens. So this is Claw Swipe. That little swoop there. Get to do 12 damage with that. And let's see here. Let me move this over like so. Actually, I could have done it. Oh, that's right. I know what I could have done, but better not play around with it. There we go. Although I could update. Well, I'll figure that out. Make adjustments to this. But Claw Swipe is something that you want to be able to combo into with low strikes. Actually, So with Claw Swipe, it's like you do like let's say you play high knee or you play light attack. You go light attack. You do high knee, light attack, right hook, and Claw Swipe because it's all three. So what I did is I make it for those quick low hitting combos. In terms of the frame arrows, you could be able to get some quick ones off real quickly. Okay, and then here's the EX move called Fury. This is Fury. So let me go and get the economy here. So in order to do this EX Fury, you got to pay the meter cost. So here's the power meter. I hate when Word does this. Let me fix this up here because that causes glitches. It's a very glitchy thing. Okay, so let me just do this. All right, 1, 2. So now I filled up the power meter a bit. So it's got 2. This does 16 damage. And most importantly, Furies, anything that has a charge cost does not give you a charge token whatsoever. So we got to blank that out. And there we go. Bam. There we go. So you need 2 meter tokens and in order to play Fury, and you get to do 16 damage. And one other thing. Reduce the frame arrows. Actually, no, I should be increasing the frame arrows. Because it is still a powerful move. Yes, that's what I should do. There we go. It's a little different. It's a little different. If you've noticed, and I'll show you down here. Oh, I already updated Power Flight. Okay, hold on. Crap. I didn't... Yeah, what about down here? Okay, perfect. Just to show you, in the previous draft, in the previous drafts before this user interface happened, you'll see that I got these blue arrows here. You see these blue arrows going on here, and the combo meter. These were this would be like the cost. You would pay the tokens equal to the number of blue arrows. But I had a hard time trying to figure out how to separate these from the frame arrows, just to make things a little easier, so to speak. But yeah, you would pay these, but I would put them. If you notice, there's 4 and 6, and if you had saw with Power Flight, there was 2 arrows. And in a sense, let me do this here. Let me bring this up here. The way it would look. Here we go. The way it would look, it was basically it was supposed to represent this. Let me separate it. Bam. So you see the 2 halves. If you can see it very clearly, let me center that. There we go. So if you see up here where I'm circling at, highlight right here, the tokens were 2 halves, 2 separate halves, and they represented how you would see the meter fill up. You know how it would fill up slowly and slowly and slowly before it fills up a whole entire block, and then the block would be glowing, or it'll tell you level 1 or something. Like you would see in Street Fighter V. If you look at the blocks in Street Fighter V, that's what 1 half represented. It was like half of your meter and then your other half of the meter, and once combined, it would look like that. And that's what the blue arrows were supposed to represent. 2, 4, 6. You had 2 arrows, 4 arrows, 6 arrows, but they were kind of impeding the frame arrows in general. The way it was mechanized, the way it was supposed to be mechanized and such. And so it took me a long time to try and figure out how to separate, how to get rid of the blue arrows and separate the frame arrows from the cost of separate the frame arrows. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying. And make it more streamlined, a little bit more easier. So that's why the user interface has the combo interface came to fruition. And originally, what I did for these was I used this. I stretched them out like so, like that. So it would look like a three level combo meter, power meter, that would look like that, and how it would look on here would be something like this. Here we go. See, it will look like that. It will look something like that, like you would see in fighting games. This would be a level 1. This is level 2, and then over here will be level 3, where I'm highlighting at. But when I started writing the rules down here for the power meter, it got a little too much. It got a little too much to explain. So I just broke them down into 6 slots. I broke them down into just 6 individual slots, which is the number of tokens you're allowed to get. You only get 6 physical tokens. So I just broke them down like this. And it was like level 1 through level 6. That's fine. And I mean, Can't win them all, but I gotta keep the rules. I gotta try and keep the rules as easy to manage for players as possible. So that's what happened with the meter. So that's what happened here with the blue, with these blue arrows, and for a good thing, because now I'm free to be able. I'm now more free to do this. The frame arrows, the way they should look for the actual card itself in relation to the damage. So in this case here, Claw Swipe now doesn't need to be stuck at 2 arrows. Now it's got 3 frame arrows and 4 frame arrows for its more stronger attack. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. Dragon Ray. This is her Hadouken. Projectiles. This was a tricky one because projectiles don't have frames, so to speak, because they're flying across the screen and they're not an extension of the fighter, so to speak. Like when you throw a punch, you see the box for the frame when you do frame data, and you can see the box, and you can see the hitbox and whatnot, so to speak. But you don't see that with projectiles, so to speak. I hope I'm explaining it correctly. So they don't have a frame in the typical sense, because they're just flying and independently across the screen, and their frame just has to hit, because they could go across the whole screen. All projectile attacks go across the whole screen. So that's where you get the term zoning from, and zone and zoner, because you kind of created this zone, this zone of projectiles that you gotta overcome, so to speak. I hope I got that right. I hope I have that explanation. I hope that explanation was correct. Why it's called zoning. So what I did was, so that means that in a sense it doesn't have the frames that you would think of, because its frame is basically already set and it's just flying across the screen. It's just this one little box going across the screen looking to hit whoever is there, and that's it. It doesn't have the repelling, the recovery frames. That's a whole other level there. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. But what I did was, for the effect zone, it would basically, this one is the update one. Zone, this card's frame arrows are equal to your previously played card frame arrows. So in this case here, let's say I play light attack. Now, actually, I'll go with this one here, just so I don't have to scroll all the way up. Let's say I play right hook. Right hook is 3 frame arrows. It's 3 frame arrows. So the next card I will play will be Dragon Ray. And so Dragon Ray would have 3 arrows. Both Dragon Rays would have 3 arrows. That's what zoning would do. And I would have to give it red arrows. I'll have to rewrite this, because it's supposed to be the red frame arrows, but because there's some fundamental changes. Yeah, well, I'll fix that up. You'll understand soon enough. The terminology's got to be fixed. But the point is that since it doesn't have the type of frames that you would see when throwing a punch, it's completely blanked out it's completely blanked out, and it just has to match your previously played card of frame arrows. So this makes it easier for when you want to do quick combos. With no problem. you get because it'll always be equal to the previously played card. So let's say you have this in a combo, you're like, oh, I don't have anything to do in my combo. Well, this is your combo. You know, so you could be able to toss in your combo if that makes sense. You know. Okay. And Power of Flight. Let's get this updated. Where are you at? Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no. Let's see here. And here we go. One more. $13 damage. So yeah, basically, Power of Flight is just straight up generic. Just a straight up generic attack. No nothing to it. Just bam, straight 13, and bam, straight 17. And here we go. Nothing to it. It's always good to have effects that are blank and just be straightforward for players. Don't overcomplicate it. You know what I'm saying? So that way they could just play it. Bam! I got my damage. It may not be much, but I got my damage, and I don't have to go through all the complex insanity of of trying to dish out stuff. All right. So here's the next subtype. And this is Frenzy. I guess I would say the equivalent of Frenzy would be V-Trigger, or the Moon Phase in Melty Blood. You know, those kind of things. And as you probably if you can see here, this effect is install. So, for those of you who don't know what installs are, it's just basically like a special, like a buff, a temporary buff or a temporary power-up that your fighter has. You'll probably hear that term a little bit from in most fighting game tournaments. You'll hear them say they got an install going, and that's basically what this is. What install does. And for Savage Strikers, install allows me to create more distinct and unique effects exclusive to that fighter, thereby allowing the fighter a little bit more character, so to speak. Like it's very, very unique to that character. So in this case here, for Nagisa, her install is during the rest of sets. So when you're playing only in sets, you can reduce the frame arrows of your cards that you play by 2, minimum 1. So you can actually try to win on tiebreakers more often than anything. If tiebreakers were to happen, it'll be a lot easier to win with say a claw swipe because you got a one arrow, and so on. You cut the number of arrows down. Or if you are doing high knee, you would play 1. But it's also important for her because if, say, you win, you get to do a combo, you win sets and you get to do a combo. Phase with the frame arrows shrunk down will make it easy for you to jump into combos. She could just go right into combos very easily. So it makes comboing an easy access, so to speak. This one is a little trippy here. So this will cost you 4 tokens, or 4 tokens. So this is a kind of like a level 4 type of thing, I guess you could say. Or if I were to use 3 marks, it would be a level 2 thing. Anyway, it takes 4 tokens. It takes 4 tokens to activate this, to play it. It's completely blank. So no resources, no damage from this, and this will require 4 arrows, And this one will not have an ender, will not have the red arrow, so you can jump into your combo if you want to. Although it would not help because you're coming in with 4 arrows, but it only works for sets. But nevertheless, that's Phase in a nutshell. That's Frenzy. That's her install. There we go, just like that. Now this one was already updated. This is Push. Decided to do like a little switch up. It's also a Frenzy. This is also a Frenzy card. And I did a little switch up. See, normally guard cards, they don't do damage, so to speak. Well, they don't do damage at all. But the idea here is to make this a guard card so you could beat out your opponent's attack. Sort of like a grab, but you push off. But I guess you could say it's like parrying, but you get to do damage with a parry. So I put in just 2 damage. Not a lot, because it's a guard card, but I gave it 2 damage, along with a card draw. And this effect here is called Action, which is just instantaneous. It's not something that is temporary. It's not a temporary effect. It's like a one-time effect. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that for long. But what it'll do is that the action will shift your opponent's currently played card, and then you get to draw 3 cards. So it's a pretty devastating move. But it also can help you get into a combo. It'll help you go into a combo. It could be played in a combo if you were to stun your opponent and you get to do your free combo, and you happen to have Push. You could throw that right into the mix and get more cards out of it if you can. But that's basically Guard Frenzy would do. And again, being that the Nagisa is a tutorial character, she's a starting character, this is also very important because it lets players know that there are fighters that can do something like this with Guard. For a cost, of course. But that this is actually possible in the game of Savage Strikers, that this is a legal card. This is a legal thing that can happen in the game, but it's not something you would see common. It will be relegated to Frenzy. But this is to help inform players that something like this can happen in the game. So it doesn't throw everybody for a loop or something. Be like, oh, this is a weird thing. No, this is possible. This is a possibility. And finally, we're looking at Savage. This is basically the Ultra combo, the ultimate moves of ultimate moves. The lowest amount of damage, I believe I have it set at 18, and the highest is 20. No card in this game will ever have 18, 19, and 20 as its damage output, except for Savage. Every single fighter has one Savage, and yeah, let's see here. We'll have Savage, and that's it. Well, that's all there is to explain. It costs you 6, and it automatically sends the round to the reset phase. No matter what the situation is, no matter what is done, if you pay once you pay your 6 and you play the card, you send the entire game to reset, hands down. So you'd have to start all over again. You would start sets from the beginning and whatnot because you sent to the reset phase. Every single Savage card does this. Some Savage cards might have an additional little thing in there, depending on the fighter, but no matter what, every single fighter is always going to have the reset effect, and that will take you straight to the reset phase. Because if you've seen a lot of fighters, it just literally just stops the game. Just so you can be able to dish out all this mass damage. You get to do nowadays, these ultras go into how you say, cutscenes. They've all become cutscenes now, so since a little extra flavor on their part, which is pretty cool. But as you can see, Power Flight is 17, so it's the closest to 18 for Nagisa. It's gonna get. Oh, and most importantly, before I forget, blank. You never ever get a resource with the Savage card. You don't get to draw a card. You don't get any economy, and no matter what, they're all gonna be 6. They end at 6 frames. They take 6 frames. They take 6 frames, and they're all enders. So yeah, you better be well prepared if you're gonna unleash that, and you better put yourself in a good position to pull off to execute that combo, especially if I figure out cancel. So yep, those are the frame arrows. They're all updated. There's not much for Nagisa. Maybe some slight adjustments here or there with further playtesting, but her damage is pretty much fixed. So let's start updating the effects here. So it's time to update the effects. Okay. Oh, most important thing to do always, save. MS Word loves to crash for some dumb reason. It just loves to crash. Okay. So now it's time to do effects. So with further playtesting, figure out how to what adjustments to make with the frame arrows and such. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm hoping that I could put this in the hands of a publisher, quite honestly, and let them handle the bulk of this, the bulk of that madness. Just like, if I understand correctly, if I remember correctly, there's over 150 combinations with 12 fighters, which also includes mirror matches, because there will be mirror matches in this game. It's pretty obvious it's going to be mirror matches. It's going to be players with the same fighter, and they're going to play the same character. Let's see here. Okay, here we are. Got to the little list here. Alright, the effects list. Okay, so we're up to the effect boxes now. A lot of these effects boxes, as I said earlier on the show, go to infil.net, infil.net, and you'll find all the gaming terminology, all of the fighting game terminologies imaginable between the fighting game community and game mechanisms that are present and accounted for. They are in Savage Strikers, and I'm hoping that from the information that I read from them, that I was able to convey it in terms of Savage Strikers, as a tabletop game, because that's a tricky part. We're talking about swapping out. We're talking about adapting video game mechanisms into tabletop. I'm gonna zoom this up so you could get a good, clear look at the effects here. There we go. So as you can see, got cancel, got target, which is target combos. Some fighters will have target combos. Not all fighters will have target combos. But if you pull off a target combo, you get additional damage, and so on. So I did my best interpreting the video game terminologies into tabletop in terms of their execution. So light attack here has cancel. If this card dealt damage, you may play one attack or one throw with frame arrows equal to or one more than this card and execute your combo. So it doesn't matter much when you're in the middle of a combo. It really matters more during sets, and that's something. Let's see here. It seems I've been updating this here a lot. Here, let's see. If this card dealt damage, you may play one card, one attack, one throw, and automatically execute a combo. So yeah, this. So I did update this proper. Okay. There we go. Hold on. Let me jump back here. I'm using the term automatically execute a combo instead of execute your combo. I don't know. That seems like a semantics thing. As you can see here, or one more than this card and automatically execute a combo, or execute your combo. I guess that's a semantics thing. See, because I'm trying to say that you automatically execute a combo. I think that's a more proper phrasing. That's probably why. Yeah, that's why I updated it, because it's more proper phrasing to cue the player that you can execute a combo. That you are allowed to execute a combo if you meet the qualifications. So in a sense here, a flight attack. So I don't have to even say that it's during sets. It should be very clear that you could do this during sets. I'm hoping that that's conveyed. Let me just see something here. Can I fit that into here? During sets. No, I can't fit it. Yeah, see, I gotta try and be careful with the text size also. But I guess this is very clear that if it's happening during sets, but then again, if I get rid of automatically, I don't know. See, that's what's so trippy about it. Should I use the term automatically? I guess I could use some comments on that one. See, because then I could say during sets, which makes more sense to say, because now you know when this effect kicks in, and you know you can automatically execute a combo because it's already queuing you in. I might be overthinking this too much, so I think I'm gonna go with this. During sets, if this card dealt damage, you may play one attack or one throw with frame arrows equal to or one more than this card and execute a combo. Can I fit your combo? Knock my microphone here. I hope. Oh yeah, I can fit. I guess I could say your combo just to let it know that's yours. I mean, like I said, it might feel more semantics than anything else. So during sets, if this card dealt damage, you may play one attack or one throw with frame arrows equal to or one more than this card and execute your combo. Now, I'm not sure if that's too broken, because technically speaking, there is a cancel into a normal that called chain, and another one called link. So it might not be a bad thing because it's still technically canceling, but it's not canceling into a special, which is what canceling normally does. Normally with cancels, you're canceling into a special. That's the very most common thing. But you can also cancel into your uniques or your normals, which is known as chaining or linking, depending on how the terminology is used in per person or per game, or matchup or something. So this might not be wrong, but it could also be very broken if you have a medium attack. If you have that medium attack, which is four frame arrows, then it might not be a bad thing, because it could help players out. But this is what I'm talking about, because I have it relegated to the text box. I'd rather have it in the frame arrows itself. I don't know. Maybe there's a way I can convey that. Maybe use, since I got red here. Maybe I might use that for maybe use a different color. Maybe use blue. I could probably use blue for that to convey that you can cancel into it. Like, you could play blue. I'll figure that out with further play testing. Right now, I need to focus on updating. So next up is Nagisa, medium attack. So medium attack, target combo, medium to heavy, get to deal 4 damage. So what it does is, starting with this card, if you play the list of cards in the listed order, you deal 4 damage. So if you play medium attack followed by heavy attack, uh, heavy attack in your combo, you get to deal 4 damage. Let's see here. Maybe I should make sure that it's clear that it's during your combo. I think that should be a combo. I really think that should be in the combo. Sorry if I sounded far away. I was leaning back on this. Sorry about that. Let me see here. See. The question is when would this happen? Because you're not because this is a target combo. It's not intended to. And this is why I need cancel. This is why I need to put cancel on the frame arrows, so that way it could play that out like that. So it could be played out like that. You could be able to do a quick target combo. Think Makoto in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and Street Fighter 4. She's got like a whole plethora of target combos, and they just they just happen rapid fire kind of thing. So I think I should say. During your combo. So let me fix this up a bit here. I'm not sure. I mean, it makes sense saying during your combo. During your combo. Starting with this card. If you play the listed cards in the listed order, deal 4 damage. So, let's see. This is what it will look like. Alright, so this is what it will look like. So, as you can see here, your target combo is medium attack and heavy attack. If you play these 2 cards back to back in that order, you get to deal an additional 4 damage instead in addition to the 6 and 9. So it's pretty powerful. We're talking about 15 damage if you could pull it off. So it would be better if I relegated to just during your combo rather than during sets. I think that's the best move to make, and it'll incentivize players to be able to get being that it'll do 19 damage. That'll bring you much closer to getting that stun. It might be too powerful. I might have to cut the damage down, but I won't know until I do the play test. So yeah, I'll relegate it to just a combo for the time being, and not let sets get overwhelmed. Okay. Next up is heavy attack. So heavy attack has sweep. Now that I gotta drop the size here, the height. Okay, so with heavy attack, sweep. Now that a game can end, now that I was able to establish time over, so to speak, where if a player runs out of cards to draw from their deck, if they run out of cards in their deck, they would then automatically end the game, and it will go to how much vitality you have left. Standard end game procedures for time over procedures. So I decided to go with this. Originally, you would shift your opponent's card, so emulate sweeping like you fall down onto the ground. But I think that's too powerful. It's too powerful, and having your card discarded is now much more powerful. Discarding your opponent's card really has a lot more power to it. And in exchange for discarding one of your cards, you can you could you can discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, so you can bring them closer to a time over if you want. So I'm not sure if I want to do, because this, I'm not sure if that's the way I want to go for it. It's a debate, because I've always wanted to do the card discard, but I can also make your opponent but you could also make your opponent shift, which is a big deal because well, I don't think that will work anyway. Nah, I'll keep this is I think this is fine, making your opponent discard 2 cards. Great way to expedite the time over, make them lose their resources. Now that and force a time over. That's a big deal now. That's actually a bigger deal, because you don't get to reshuffle your deck. Throw cards are all gonna be blank. Keep them all blank. Don't overcomplicate for a starting card. Okay, now we're coming to the guards. Okay, here we go. The guard cards. We got block, which I know it has text there. Do I have to pull back a bit? There we go. Okay, here we are. Tech, or tech hit. I don't call. I didn't use the term hit, but tech hit. Basically, what tech hit does is whenever you get caught in a throw, basic throw, and your opponent throws you, you can actually reorient your fighter. Sort of like, instead of your fighter landing on the ground, they flip back up while in mid-air and then land on their feet. But there's still some damage taken just for the fact that you got hit, because it's still a clean hit when you got thrown. So what I did was, in this case, you could take half damage if your opponent plays a throw card. And since guard loses to throw, normally, I created the tech so that you just discard 1 card from your hand and you only take half damage from the throw card. You don't have to worry about taking a lot of damage, and it is a very big deal, especially if you're up against fighters like Brock or grapplers like Angela. What are you doing? Uh-oh. I forgot to save. Oh no. I better save now. Save. There we go. Gotta remember to save. But yeah, so like, say, well, Nagisa, well, here, I'll show you. We're right up here, very easily. If you get thrown, oh, and I should have noted that it's half round up. I'll fix that up. But let's say you get thrown for 12. You play tech. You only take 6 damage instead of the full 12. But it should be round down. Let me fix that up. Tech, take half damage, round down from your opponent's throw card. Round down. There we go. There. Alright. It should be round down. There we go. Take half damage, round down from your opponent's. There we go. And done. Okay. Next up is parry. Parry is reversal. Those of you familiar with Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, y'all know how that works. You know, and then you could be able to throw a punch. Let's see. I think I updated reversal because it was very powerful during the play tests. And also the rule had to change. So in the previous rules, you discard 1 card in your hand, your card resolves first. So in draft 111, during sets, both cards would activate at the both players would activate their cards. The player with initiative activated first, and the player without initiative activated second. But that created so many timing issues that it was pretty obvious that had to change. And I changed that on the fly, and on Sunday, only 1 player gets to activate their card, and the opponent doesn't get to activate it, and that that made the game much better, much better. But it also made reversal even more powerful as a result. So you discard 2 cards in your hand, and your card gains initiative. So that's a big deal, because that means that your card stands, and it's an even bigger deal. And it's an even bigger deal if you want to get into that combo quickly. Okay. Next up is Sidestep. This one was the most broken card during the deck building phase, deck building era, because it was the fastest. It would be normally 1 or 2 frame arrows, and it would shut down your opponent's combo completely, and you're able to steal a turn basically, and you still do. In a sense, you still do. Counter is now the effect that is used for Sidestep, and if you spend this was in draft 111 rules. If you discard 1 card, you automatically execute your combo. Now it's 2. You discard 2 cards, you automatically execute a combo right off the bat. So it doesn't matter if you're in set 1 or in set 5. If you have 2 cards to discard, drop them, discard them, and you could start doing your combo completely. So you could get the drop on your opponent. Okay, Crouch. So this is actually a very interesting story. I read this interview. I still can't remember to this day what the article was, where the website was, but I believe if I remember correctly, Level 99, one of their fighting games, I think it was called BattleCon, which is supposed to be their fighting game, and if I remember correctly, one of the game designers, one of the team that was having the interview, said he tried to pull off Wake Up, just like in fighting games. I'm not sure if it was this or Jasco. It was one of them. But I know I think it was level 99 BattleCon. I'm thinking, I could be 100% wrong. If you do research, because I still can't remember the thing and I can't find it on the internet. But if you do find it, correct me if I'm wrong with my source. But I do remember that the game designer wanted to put Wake Up in his fighting game, and he couldn't figure out how. And when I read, I was able to read up more on Wake Up at info.com and how it's supposed to, work the way that was explained, and I was able to pull it off here. Since Wake Up means if you're down on the ground like this, you're like oof, oof, like this, you like this. You're able to find a way to get yourself to wake up, and sometimes you might be able to pull off a hit from a Wake Up. But basically, you could be able to get off the ground a little faster when you juggle the fight stick, the joystick a little bit more, rather than just sitting there and just waiting for a while to get back up. That's the way Wake Up works. And so since in Savage Strikers your card shifts horizontally, Wake Up in this context is you get to stand your card up, similar to which fits the terminology of the game when you wake up. So you activate Wake Up on Crouch and you turn it to vertical. Now your character is standing, which is the name of the position of the card in vertical. Stand. So it's pretty clear, and that's why I used stand as a verb on here. So you just I think this is the updated one. Let me double check. Yes, this is the updated one where you stand, where I tell you stand the card, so you shift from horizontal to vertical, but it cannot trigger a combo. That's the one big difference. So this is to prevent players from the previous set from getting that, saying, oh, I get to execute a combo since it stands and it's 2 stands in a row. No. Wake Up doesn't grant you that. It doesn't get you a combo if you stand it up to make it 2 consecutive, because you technically lost. You lost sets. Wake Up just lets you put your card back in, so the next so that way on the next set you have a chance to get to execute your combo. So yeah, chances are you're gonna see 3 stands in a row with a Wake Up. In that case, but it also helps out for the next set, so you could be able to pull off. You could get into your combo with 2 consecutive stands, if that makes sense. You'll see it when it gets put to practice, but that's what Wake Up does normally. And Boost, you don't see that. You're not gonna find that in fighting game terminology in fighting games. The terminology. This is exclusive to Savage Strikers as conveyance of the tabletop mechanism, which is to be able to get more damage. You get to add more damage. And what Boost does is that the next card you play is an attack normal type, being that's your light attack, medium attack, and heavy attack. You get to add 2 damage. So imagine if you were crouching and you just do a normal, normal and such. That's what Boost does. For the game. And in this case here, you get to add 2 damage to, say, your light attack. So instead of doing 3 damage with your light attack, you get to do 5 damage. And if you're in a combo, especially a free combo, if this is your first card of the combo, or if you use this in the middle of your free combo, yeah, you're really racking up the damage. Okay, next up is Jump. So Jump, again, I also gave it the Wake Up. Again, if you were to watch fighting games, you'll notice that people who land on the ground and their bodies are laying flat on the ground, all of a sudden you see them just out of nowhere just jumping, just jumping from that. That's part of the Wake Up, and I decided to give this to Nagisa's Jump to convey that that's a possibility. So again, if your jump fails and it's shifted horizontally, just pay the two cards, discard the 2 cards, and then you stand the card back up, and you jump in midair, kind of thing. Trust me, if you watch those fighting videos, all those fighting game videos from the fighting game community, FGC Plays, Masatsu, just or go to Maximilian Dude and just watch it. You'll see it. Just watch very carefully when a character lands on the ground. You'll probably see them jumping out of nowhere, and you're like, "Wait, what?" that's Wake Up. Okay. Next up is Dash. Dash is the fastest. It's always going to end up being the fastest for all the fighters, in a sense. Usually 1 arrow, 1 or 2 arrows, depending on the fighter. I think I have Brock set at 3 because he's slow, and probably Freddy G in the end. But hit the save button there. But Rushdown in fighting games basically is just like putting more. It's kind of like being hyper aggressive. You just keep pushing forward and forward and forward. Dishing out more and more attacks, dashing towards your opponent, but you're just moving fast, and not giving your opponent any room to breathe. And that's what I'm hoping I could convey with Rushdown as an effect here. I believe I updated this effect. So in Draft 111, it's like you may play this card during your combo. This card's frame arrows do not apply. I believe, yeah. So I updated that a little bit more clear on the phrase. You may play this card during a combo and ignore the previously played card's frame arrows. So what it helps to do in regards to Dash, let's say you play. Let me scroll up here. Should I scroll up or scroll down? You know what? Let me scroll down. So what this card can do, particularly with let me see here. So it allows you to play during a combo. Normally with combos, unless you're playing a free combo, if you're playing just a normal combo off sets, you can only play attack and throw cards. You can't play any other type. And Rushdown allows you to play that during that combo. So you don't have to... so your normal regular combo off of sets, let's say, for example... you have 2 right hooks, let's say for example you had to play right hook to win sets, but you happen to have high knee. You can't play high knee after right hook in your combo because right hook has 3 frames and this has 2 frames. So what Rushdown does is during that combo, you could play this. You could play this card right after right hook because it's got the 1 arrow. So you play it after right hook, and then you could play the high knee because because dash has 1 frame arrow and the high knee has 2 frame arrows. So it'll look a little weird. It'll say because your frame arrows will go 3, 1, 2, but because Rushdown says you could play during a combo, you could play it after right hook and continue and be able to come in with your high knee, and then you could follow it up with a more stronger card that you have. So you could get that additional damage, that extra damage, instead of being shortchanged on the damage. So let's say, for example, you got Claw Swipe, which is 12, and it's got 3 frame arrows. But you don't want to just you don't want to be stuck just doing right hook followed by Claw Swipe, and then that's your combo. That's 18 damage. You got this one here, so you could get that extra 4 damage. So you play dash after right hook, then you could play and then you could play high knee because it's got the 2 frame arrows, which follows the rules. So you get the 4 damage in, and then you get to play Claw Swipe, and you get to do over 20 damage rather than 18 damage. That's what Rushdown is supposed to do for your card, for your combo, for your combos. Of course, if you're doing free combo, it won't matter. But this is more for sets when you do a combo off sets, normal regular combo. Okay. So, like I said, with high knee, poke, poke is just that light jab. You just light jab. You're just poking at your opponent to see what they're gonna try and do. It's pretty standard procedure, but I contextualized it for a tabletop game by letting it draw 1 card. So I'm poking. Okay, I poke. I get to draw a card as a poke. But I added one extra little incentive. That is if you deal damage. So that way it can actually act like poke that you will see in the fighting game. So I'm poking you, I just dealt damage, and then I get to draw a card. But that's only if you get to deal damage. If you don't get to deal damage, you don't get to draw a card. It's a pretty powerful, poke was pretty powerful in Draft 111 in that sense. Even though it's just 1 card, it was still pretty powerful in that sense. Savage Strikers exclusive to Savage Strikers is Set Breaker, which breaks ties and gives you the initiative. Let's pull this out. So in set 111, it was again it was that simultaneous both cards can activate kind of thing. But now that I got rid of that, your card gets the initiative, and that's a pretty big deal. So, but that's only if the card ties, and that's usually going to happen right up here with your first check for the targeting arrows. That'll be your first check. Let's see. Your startup set. So that's really when set breaker gets to really get used, and that's during the startup. So in the startup, if you're tied, you win automatically. That's it during your startup set. But I didn't add in startup set because it's pretty clear and obvious that your first tie is going to be off of the target icons. So just to keep the sentence structure short and sweet. In fact, let me check something out here. Is it size 10? What's poke? Also size 10. Let me fix this up. Let me make sure the font size. Yeah, okay. The font size is proper. Okay. Next. Okay, so that's Set Breaker. So again, that's a Savage Strikers exclusive. Hit Stun. As I explained before, when you hit an opponent, they temporarily stagger, leaving an opening for for a combo of sorts. This is more effective during sets, which is the neutral phase. During neutral phase is when during neutral play in the video games, you're looking for that hit stun during neutral play in video games, so that we could jump into a combo. So hit stun is more effective during sets because and the neutral phase, because that represents the neutral play you find in fighting games. Where is it at? Uh-oh. Do I not have it here? Uh-oh, I didn't update hit stun. Uh-oh, I don't have hit stun on here. Uh-oh, why did I drop hit stun? Is there a reason why I dropped hit stun? Ah, okay. Okay, this is a byproduct of the previous okay, now I remember why. This was a byproduct of draft 111. Okay. I couldn't figure out what to do. So, in draft 111, since both cards would activate, if your card dealt damage, then your opponent's card would shift. And thus lose the initiative. Doesn't have to be that way. Do I really want to keep that? Yeah, hit stun still makes sense. I just gotta. How do I want to do this then? That means I gotta update this physically. So let's switch over. Where am I at? Oh, here it is. Yep. This is where this is where I've been getting the effect boxes from here, in this little area here. Let me just fix this up for size purposes. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. So, if this card deals damage first, shift your opponent's card. So, how would I want to do hit stun? I guess the a way to do hit stun is if this card deals damage, it still needs damage. It's kind of pointless because the hit stun would already be established, wouldn't it? Automatically. And I don't want it to be another form of cancel. You know what? I'll have to figure that out in a future date, don't I? Let's see. Let me blank these out quickly here. If this card deals damage first. How do I want to do this? If this card deals damage first, how would I want to pull off hit stun? I won't even say if this card. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on hit stun. It might not. I think the reason why I left it out is because it's obsolete. I think that's the best assessment that I can explain. It's completely obsolete. 100% useless. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't have to. Did I just create a whole new effect here? Where did this one come from? Pressure. Oh, is that what I replaced it with? I replaced it with pressure, huh? Pressure. During the active step, you may play one attack with frame arrows equal to or one more than this card and gain initiative. Ah, okay. Because that's what hit. Okay, I think that's what I did. I replaced hit stun with pressure. And since this is happening during the active step, yeah, I think that makes sense now. Yeah, here we go. So that's what's going here, because I wanna put pressure on. But since this is happening during sets, so during the active step of sets, I better double check my active step. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yep. During the active, you may play one attack with frame arrows equal to or one more than this card and gain initiative. Okay. Maybe I should shrink the frame arrows here. Bring it down to 4. Because that'll be very... No, gain initiative. Right. Yes. Okay. Well, this is a toughie. Well, this one is tough. I think I should shrink, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll bring the frame arrows down to 4. Cut this out. So, spin kick will have 4 frame arrows. It is a unique card anyway. But it can help. Alright. So theoretically, well, I'll have to see what happens when put to practice. It may work or it may not work. I wish that this would straighten itself out. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. So next up is claw swipe wall bounce. Okay. So wall bounce. For those of you who might not know, and those of you who may be very familiar, wall bounce is basically knocking an opponent against the side of the screen, and then they bounce back right towards you, and you get to pull off another combo. You get to extend your combo. It's pretty standard for most fighting games, but it's usually very unique to certain fighters who might have that extra kick to it or extra punch to it. So I didn't change much of it. So yeah. You may continue this combo, and the next card you play ignores this card's frame arrows. And I set that for red, which is your enders. Let's see, you may execute. You may execute a new combo after resolving this card, ignoring. Now this is a little bit more clearer. I made this a little bit more clearer. So, yeah. Okay, so it just basically extends your combos beyond the red ender arrows. This is exclusive to attacks that have the red arrows. So if you want to extend the combos, you got it. Just remember, stun can happen. Okay, Dragon Ray. Well, I spoke about this before about zone. So let me see here. So this card's frame arrows are equal to your previously played card's frame arrows. Most yeah. See, the key thing is that for some fighters, they could actually walk behind. Like Ryu, if you throw a very slow fireball, you can walk right behind the fireball and add to it in some Street Fighter games. But I think I'm still gonna need this to be an ender more than anything. So I'll have to put back the. I'll have to. This card's frame arrows are equal to your previously played frame arrows. Yeah, because since I'm not doing it like this anymore. This was by suggestion. Here we go. This was suggested by the play testers. They wanted something like a stop box and such. But that's it's very difficult for me to figure that one out. Here we go. But it used to be all red arrows. Here we go. It would look like this. There we go. Here we go. So, yeah, it would be all red arrows, but the problem was that they were still reading the arrows as a continuation of something rather than paying attention to the red, which is telling them you stop here. But, I couldn't. But the problem is that you got to count the arrows, and that's what makes it very difficult. You got to be able to count the arrows, and I can't come up with like a stop block for it. Some way to do a stop block. Just needed one more arrow here. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. So, that's why zone. So that's what zone is. Its own frame arrows would be red. But yeah, this is a tricky one. And that's gonna be a major mistake too. Because people are not gonna actually I might be able to do it. I think I know. I think I got it. Where is it at? Here. I think I got it. I know how to do this. Yeah. This might be the best way to do it. Here we are. There. So, this card's frame arrows are equal to your previously played card's frame arrows. And you can't play it after a red. It's looking for all black. Maybe I should add. Well, no, because the rules should be very clear. Because this is your ender, no matter what. You can't escape it. Yeah, that's the best way I could put it. That's the best way I could really put it. Okay, Power Flight doesn't have any effects, just straightforward damage. Hit the old save button. Ooh, there's a lot of saving here. Alright. We come to phase. So her install is fine. Let me just fix that box up. We're coming to the end. We're on the last stretch. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. So, yep. During the rest of sets, just reduce your frame arrows by 2, minimum 1 arrow. So, you could try and win the initiative off your opponent. I think I wanted to get rid of action. I'm not sure if I should get rid of it or keep the term, or maybe come up with something, a different name, I guess. Action. I don't know if I want to use the term action, quite honestly, but I guess I guess I'll keep the term action for now. For which is exclusive to frenzies. Yeah. It's just to denote that it's a one-time effect. There's nothing. You know, it's a one-time quick effect. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so, but I don't know if I want to call it action. I'm trying to think of a good fighting game term for it. But I guess action. I can't call it trigger. I don't know. That's already a Street Fighter thing. That's already a Street Fighter thing. I'll just keep it simple. Say action. It's an action effect. It's a one-time effect that goes away. You know, you do it and you're done. I guess that's simple. That's simple enough. Don't need to complicate it. And finally, reset. All right, that's it. Nagisa is done. Not you, Irina. We're not ready for you yet. Here we go. Whew. Yep. And that's what updating looks like. For those of you who are game designers, this is what updating a game design looks like. For those of you who are interested in game designing or wanting to be a game designer, this is what goes into this hard work here. Let me save up. Make sure everything's okay. So I could actually put the cards to practice. I won't know how balanced they are, or what damage or what adjustments will have to be made. But this is pretty much Nagisa in a nutshell. She's just basic. She's just straightforward and basic. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular. I'm not sure what meta type I should make her, that I should declare her to be. I could call her a starter. I don't know. I mean, she's not a Shoto fighter. She's not intended to be. Here we go. This all looks good. Counter. Yep, this all looks good. So, she's ready for printout and for play testing. Let's see what comes out of this. Yeah, that zone's gonna really require a lot of rewriting. Okay. Yeah. See, push. Well, even though you could play push in a combo, this works more better during sets. It seems pretty self-explanatory. If you're saying shift, the only way you can shift your opponent's card is if it's during sets. So, there we go. I don't know. Like I said, that's a development issue. That's probably gonna fall into the hands of the publishers if I find them. But yes, Nagisa is set. So what type of fighter is Nagisa? I don't want to say starter. Let me zip this all the way up. There we go. So, meta type. What is her meta type? To inform people of what she does. starter, I guess. The starter fighter. Basic. Jack of all trades. Standard fighter, I guess. Or should I go? Or should I do? Or should I note what type of targeting network? Nah, that's too much space there. I don't know. I guess standard. Basic. I'm not sure. She doesn't do reversals. She's not like a crazy zoner. I guess standard. Either standard or starter. Basic fighter. Basic. I mean, what does that mean? Basic. Beginner. Beginner. Okay. Maybe I'll go with beginner. Beginner. Because I don't want to say average. She's not average. She's awesome. She's awesome. Beginner. Beginner. See, like, I would probably say rush down for Irina. The reversal. So I guess beginner is the more appropriate. Beginner. I don't want to say tutorial. That's too weird. Combo, like Chenbo beat combo, that kind of thing. Yeah. I guess I could. I guess beginner. But would be a good turn there. It's a good meta type. It's a beginner fighter. Standard. Okay. All right. So that's it. Am I good? I'm good. Yes, I am way good. All right. Everything is good. Whew. Okay. So that's the first update. Nagisa Hino, the beginner fighter. The beginner fighter, I guess. We'll that'll be figured out at some point. All right. So thank you all for joining me. Next fighters tomorrow night, 10 p.m. I do want to apologize for anybody who was trying to pop in at 10 o'clock p.m. For this live stream. The Wi-Fi screwed up and everything. I don't know why, but it looks like everything has gone fine once I got back in. I had to reset the whole thing, so I'm hoping tomorrow this will not happen again as I update the next fighter. So thank you for joining me. Thank you all who watched this recording. Just don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comment section on what you think so far. And yeah, that's it. So it's time to yep. Sorry, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to say, but I think I got everything. I think I got everything. So if you want to see the microphone. If you're wondering why I'm leaning in like that so much. Microphone. That's why. So I'm very excited to continue on this journey. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night for the next fighter. With all that said, I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai. Oh, and one more thing before I log off. If you all want me to play the theme song, Peanut Butter Jelly, it's really for Splatterbomb. But if you want me to do Savage Strikers, just let me know. Just to give a nice little music to say goodbye to. It's exclusively locked into Coqui-san Freelance Gamer, but still. So